So I will just give kind of a general overview of Merrimack, and then we can focus on like whatever questions or specific things you might want to hear a little bit more about. Merrimack is located in North Andover, Mass., which is about 30 to 40 minutes northwest of Boston. North Andover is a pretty suburban area, so we have a very traditional style campus. It's enclosed, so it's not sort of mixed into the city like you know when you're on campus and when you're not. But it's really easy access to Boston, so that's a really great option for social opportunities, but also for internship opportunities. So you have kind of the best of both worlds. You don't have to feel like you're in the city all the time, but you have access to the resources of the city when you need it. We have about 4,000 undergraduate students and about an additional 1,200 graduate students, so a little over 5,000 total. That makes us a small to medium-sized institution. We are definitely very focused on small class sizes and a lot of personal attention. Our average class size is about 22, so probably not super different than what you've experienced in school so far. And our student-faculty ratio is 16:1. So you definitely are spending a lot of time directly with your faculty, getting to know them, the folks in your program, the other students in your program, and having a lot of opportunity to build those connections. We also have a lot of advising available, so career advising, academic advising. Basically, you're going to get a lot of people at Merrimack that are assigned to you, that are going to be your go-to people as you transition to Merrimack and as you continue through your program. Our hope is that, if we give you multiple different advisors, then you'll really connect with at least one of them, and really have that person that you can always go to on campus. We don't want anyone to feel like a number. We don't want anyone falling through the cracks. We really want to make sure that every individual student feels really supported on campus. And so all of our academics and campus life are really focused around that model. Our academics are very hands-on. We like to focus on experiential learning. Close to 90% of our students complete an internship while they're a student. And that could be research with faculty on campus, an internship in the local area, an internship over the summer closer to home, and an internship that you do in the city. So a lot of different options in terms of what that looks like, and it definitely depends on the program that you're in. But we want you to get hands-on experience in the classroom, in our labs, doing stuff as part of your coursework, but also getting a hands-on experience in a real-world setting somewhere off campus. Outside of the classroom, our students are definitely really involved. We are a primarily residential campus, so about 70% of our students do live at Merrimack. We have Division I athletics, so in terms of campus spirit and school spirit around sports, there is a lot of that, whether you are involved in athletics or you like to watch athletics, or even if you're not into that at all. It kind of overall just contributes to the level of excitement and community that's on campus, whether or not you're directly involved in athletics. We also have more than 60 clubs and organizations on campus. Some of those are related to we have like club sports, so some are related to like activities. Some are related to specific academic programs. You don't have to be in the academic program to be involved in a club, but usually they're started by that. So for example, we have an investment club that a lot of our finance majors are involved in. We have a film club. We have a dance club. So a lot of different options for those kinds of things. And then we have a number of affinity groups on campus as well, one of our largest being our Unity House, which is a multicultural group focused on running multicultural events on campus, as well as promoting diversity, equity, and inclusion on campus, which our Merrimack does as a whole, but we have a student group that's really focused on events and having space for students to come together in that way. And they have a physical space on campus too. I actually just saw today we have an app that shows like all the campus events that are currently happening, and they this weekend are running a Unity TEA talks where they're just like having conversations about current issues or things that people want to bring to the table and drinking tea. And they gave it a fun name. So lots of different ways to get involved based off your interests or what you want to be involved in. Community is really important at Merrimack. We're actually a Catholic Augustinian institution. You don't have to be Catholic to come to Merrimack, and you can embrace or not embrace spiritual life as much or as little as you would like. But one of the kind of main values of the Augustinians is community building. So that's really important on our campus, and so that's why our students are so involved in so many clubs and organizations. It's about having a community within our larger campus community. Service is a big part of that as well, and so our students are really involved in community service in our local area as well. So that's sort of some of the stuff about campus. If you are undecided about a major, that's totally okay. That's one of our top incoming majors is Undecided. We have a great Discover program, which is for students who are undecided in their first year. You take a first-year experience class with other students who are undecided, and you have specific advisors. And the part of the program is to help you identify your strengths, your interests, and how those relate to a major that you might be interested in. And then taking that to the next step, okay, I've chosen this major, this thing that I'm interested in, how can I apply it? Like, what sort of work am I looking for? What sort of careers am I interested in? And sort of connecting all those dots. So whether you are undecided in general, or I think I want to do health sciences, but I'm not sure what in the health sciences field, whether you have an idea or no idea, the Discover program can really help to narrow what's going to be a good fit for you. So, I know I just said a lot of things. Any questions about kind of the school or campus life or academics? Campus life. Any particular question about that or something that you're looking for? Dorms, yeah. So like I said, the majority of our students do live on campus. We have a number of different residence hall options. The majority of our first year students live in halls with other freshmen. We have a couple that are just freshmen, and then some that are both freshmen and sophomores. There are sort of two main types of situations for freshmen. One is going to be a really traditional style residence hall where you live in either a double or a triple room. So you have one roommate or two roommates. The triple rooms are larger to accommodate the third person. Floors of those rooms, shared bathrooms on each floor, and then laundry in the building that you use. Laundry is included, so you don't have to pay extra for that. And then we have some suite style options for freshmen as well. In the suites, you have 2 bedrooms, so you'd have one direct roommate, 4 people live in the suite, and then there's a shared living space and a kitchenette. So that's the actual bedroom space is the same, just the way it's formatted on the floors is a little bit different, and you end up with a private bathroom, which is kind of nice. As you progress throughout your time at Merrimack, the options for living become increasingly independent. So we also have townhouses on campus, apartments. We work with an apartment complex that's across the street from us, so it's not officially a part of our campus, but we rent a very large number of the apartments in that complex, and so we have students that live over there as part of campus housing. And so as you work into your upperclassmen years, you have the opportunity to live in more independent space that has, a full living space and a kitchen and everything, which is kind of a nice transition. You come in the more traditional dorm room and then work your way up to a more apartment style, which is a good sort of step-by-step transition. I've been in the majority of our housing. I think it's nice, very sort of standard size. You have space for everything you need. The furniture's pretty standard, twin bed, a wardrobe for your clothes, a desk space, and people bring a lot of additional, if you want to bring extra organizers or a comfy chair or a TV, you can bring all of that stuff for your room as well. Any other questions or things you're wondering about?
How big is the school?
Like, how big is the campus, or? Yeah, so if you open this is a photo of our campus. It doesn't really give a great portion of size. It's sort of long, so it stretches probably a mile from end to end, maybe a little bit less, for the length of campus, and the center of that is where most of your stuff is going to be. So The campus center is sort of right in the middle of campus. Our athletic center is on one end, our welcome center is on the other end. So this main sort of stretch down the center is where you're going to be doing a lot of things. We have in the back some additional residence halls, so that extends sort of farther back. But it's very walkable. So you can probably walk from any point on campus to another point on campus within 10 to 15 minutes. So there's not a, in the winter, you're having to go to classes or go anywhere on campus. It's really easy to get around. Yeah, you're never too far. It's not like UMass where you're walking really far or you have to use a shuttle or anything. We do have a shuttle on campus that goes to things in the greater town, so it goes off campus, but you don't need it to get around campus. Any other questions? Okay, so thinking about the application process, are you a senior this year? I can't remember if I asked that. Yeah, no, I did. I forgot. So to apply, we are on the Common application. So if you're using the Common app to apply anywhere else, you can just add us there. It's much easier than doing a new application. If you're not using that, we do have an online application as well. Either way, it's free to apply, so you don't have to pay anything. In addition to the actual application, we just need an essay, which if you're using the Common app, you can use the one on there. There's no second one that you need to do. Your high school transcript, one letter of recommendation from either your counselor or a teacher, just someone who knows you in an academic capacity, and then your secondary school report, which is basically a small summary of your high school. Your counselor will submit that on your behalf. It's not anything you have to put together. When we are looking at applications, we're definitely taking a holistic approach. So we're looking at your grades and your GPA. Our average GPA is about a 3.3, which is a solid B average. That's not a minimum. We admit students from a wide range of GPAs. And we're also looking at what went into your GPA, the kinds of classes that you took throughout high school, the trajectory of your grades throughout high school, really trying to get a picture of what went into creating that GPA. We're also looking at what you're involved in outside of the classroom, if you have a job, if you're involved in clubs, if you play sports, really just trying to get the full picture of you as a person and as a student and taking that all into consideration when we review applications. We don't require SAT or ACT scores. In fact, we are test blind, so I would say don't bother sending them because we're not really going to use them, and save your sends for someone else. So that's just not something you really have to worry about. In terms of deadlines, we do have an early decision deadline. That's a binding decision, so if you are admitted during early decision, the expectation is that you're attending Merrimack. If you're not ready to make that decision by November 15th, that's fine. We also have early action, which is non-binding, so you can still be applying other places and wait to make your decision. We also have an early action deadline of November 15th for early action 1, January 15th for early action 2, and then we move into rolling decision. What is the difference and which one do you choose? It's really just up to you in terms of when you feel ready to apply, maybe when you're applying to other schools, and it frames when you'll receive a decision from us. So in the first early action round, you'll have your decision by the end of December, before the holidays. If you apply under early action 2, you'll have your decision end of January, early February. And then in rolling admission, we send out decisions on a weekly or biweekly basis based off when you complete the application. So it's just about kind of when you feel ready. There's no particular benefit from an admission standpoint to doing one or the other. Kind of the only thing we encourage students to think about is, especially because COVID is now landing in kind of the middle of your high school experience, if you had pass-fail grades or anything like that and you feel really strongly about including your senior year grades because you just feel like you're knocking it out of the park this year and you really want that included, then maybe wait for the January deadline, but it's absolutely not required. We review plenty of students without senior year grades too. Yeah, so that's sort of the application process. Costs and scholarships, which is kind of the least exciting part of the conversation, but important. Our total tuition fees, room and board and everything is just about $64,000. It's a very scary number. Can tell you that is not what our students are really paying. We do offer merit scholarships that you don't have to apply separately for. We'll review you for them automatically as part of the application process. Right now, those merit scholarships range from $10,000 to $26,000, and an acceptance letter from us would indicate right away, the scholarship and the amount that you're receiving. 99% of our incoming students are receiving a merit scholarship, so safe to assume if you're being admitted, you're also receiving a scholarship. And then we have need-based aid available. So you apply for need-based aid. That's aid awarded based off your family's personal financial situation. You apply for that by submitting the free application for federal student aid, or the FAFSA. That allows you to be reviewed for federal aid that you may be eligible for, as well as aid from Merrimack that you may be eligible for. So in addition to some of that federal aid, we do have need-based aid available directly from Merrimack as well. So all of that will come together to create a package that will bring down that total cost. We ultimately end up, we have some of the averages in the book. They're on one of the pages on, I don't remember which one. It's in there. About the average cost after scholarships and grants. Primary takeaway is that that $64,000 number is not where our students are landing after that aid is applied. So that's sort of the logistical stuff. Any questions about the application process or scholarships, anything like that? No? Okay. I know I just said like a lot of information real fast, so if you have questions later on, you're reading the book, you're looking at the website, you're doing whatever, and you have questions, please feel free to reach out anytime. That's my card. I am the counselor for Western Mass, so I'd be the one to work with you throughout the application process. So really no question is too small of a question. Reach out anytime. We are happy to help. The process is certainly overwhelming. It's confusing. I think even more so this year after a year of virtual and everything changing. So definitely just let us know. And if you filled out the card, it just allows us to keep you up to date with information, events. We do have in-person events happening on campus this year. We have open houses, we have daily tours, we have academic preview days, so a lot of options to visit campus. And our students are back fully in person, so if you visit campus, we do. Well, we do this year. I don't know if that will change in future years, but for this year we did require the vaccine.